I'm Sabrina and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a beginner makeup guide slash tutorial. I really wanted to do this because I feel like YouTube now isn't as focused on the makeup and tutorials and really teaching makeup and techniques, because I feel like the general thought is like, well, there have been so many videos out there, so now everyone already knows how to do their makeup, so now we're just gonna do like fun videos, which I love. Like, I love product videos and everything. But it kind of makes me think about people who are just getting into makeup and are like, where do I start? This video today is for people who are just getting into makeup and just really want to know the basics, reasons for certain products, how to use these products, just kind of a guide and tutorial to help people out, because I just feel like that information is a little bit harder to find on YouTube today. So we're going to start with eyes. Oh my god, I forgot my makeup wipes! Right, one second. Okay, I'm back. I like starting with my eyes first, and people have different preferences, but today's video is just going to be what I like to do. So I like starting with my eyes first because eyeshadow can have what's called fallout. And that means that when you're putting the eyeshadow on, some of it may fall down right here on your cheek. So some people just like doing their face makeup and then their eyeshadow, but I personally like doing my eyeshadow first so that I can wipe that fallout away before going in with face makeup. Sorry, this video is like... Makeup's very personalized. You have to find what works for you, what works for your skin and your preferences. So for some people, they don't need to prime their eyes. For me, I definitely need to, and I actually think it's so important. What priming your eyes can do and what it means is that you're putting basically a layer over your bare eye before you go in with eyeshadow, and it can help make the colors more bold, make them blend better, and keep your eyeshadow on a lot longer. I find my eyeshadow lasts so much longer when I'm wearing an eyeshadow primer. I personally like ones like this, which is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Enigma. I like this one because it has coverage, meaning it covers the veins in my eyes, so that I'm kind of starting my eyeshadow with a blank slate. So I'm just going to put on this primer. So you put it on like this, and sometimes I like getting in here too. So I'll put it on like that. I usually do one eye at a time, just in case it dries, and I'll take my Beauty Blender. A really important makeup tool. I love sponges. I personally like the Beauty Blender the best. I just think it has the best texture and just feels the best, but there are dupes out there that are cheaper because this is $20. So I'll just take this and just kind of blend my primer in. Oh, I really need to tweeze my eyebrows, but I just didn't do that, so oh well. Anyway, so as you can see, there's a difference between this eye and this eye. So some people use concealer for this step, and they kind of just use concealer as an eyeshadow primer, which you can do, and I did that for a really long time, but I found that my eyelids get oily, and I found that concealer ended up just creasing on me, and eyeshadow primer just worked way better than a concealer did. So I feel like that's really up to you, up to your eyelids and your skin type, because some people who have really dry eyelids can use concealer and get away with it, but I personally just need a separate eye primer. So now I'm going to set my primer down, which is also literally every step of makeup's like, some people do this, but that's just how makeup works. So I'm just gonna try to not throw so much information at you that you're overwhelmed, but just enough so you're informed. I like setting my primer, which means putting powder over it before going on with eyeshadow. Some people like just leaving their primer like this, which is a little bit tacky, and going right in with eyeshadow. I personally just like setting it. I think it makes the eyeshadows blend so much better, but I feel like that's something you're just gonna have to test out and really see what you prefer. I just definitely prefer putting powder. So I'm going to take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and put that on, but also some people take like this ColourPop palette. Some people just take a really light color like this and they'll just use that to set. Either works. It's the same thing as powder. Go into my powder, tap off a lot, and just go in and set and make sure everything's smooth and ready for eyeshadow. There are so many different ways to do eyeshadow. There are no rules. It's complete artistry. You can choose whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to do a really basic eye and just show you some really basic techniques that you can do. What I'm going to do is take this ColourPop Bare Necessities palette. I really, really, really recommend this brand, ColourPop. They're online. I think they're also in Ulta. I really recommend this brand as like a beginning eyeshadow palette brand because They're very affordable, and affordable as in like they have $20 or $12 eyeshadow palettes, which you will soon find out is very affordable for eyeshadow, and really good quality. And they also have so many different color stories. You'll probably find something that you like. You don't need a huge palette like this one that has like so many colors. I mean, if you want, you totally can. I think this is a great way to really test out like colors and everything, because you get such an array of like amazing neutrals that you would like. But they also have smaller palettes that would be great, and they have colorful and neutral, whatever works. I personally am a neutral girl. I have been getting into color more recently, but at the end of the day, I love my everyday neutrals. So I'm just going to take this color right here, which is called On Holiday. Some people like starting dark to light. I personally like doing light to dark. So the reason for this is because it creates a better blend, and you normally want to start out with a color that's kind of similar to your skin tone so that the eyeshadow will blend in instead of having a harsh line. I'm just going to take a really fluffy brush. Fluffy brushes help blending. So if you really want to blend and diffuse a color, you should use a fluffy brush. And I'm going to put this all in my crease. So the crease of your eye is when you look like this. It's this part. Now you will figure out your own eye shape. I have hooded eyes, so for me, I normally like to put my color a little bit above my crease just to kind of create the illusion that my eyes are bigger than they are, but that is totally up to your own preferences with the eye shape you have and what you like. So I'm just building this color in swirling motions, back and forth motions, just to really build that color in my crease. So a really simple look that you can do is putting this up here, darkening the outer corner, and then putting a lighter shade on the inner corner. Today I'm going to be doing a halo eye. Sounds scary. It's really not. It's actually really easy. I like doing it so much because it makes your eyes look rounder, which I personally like because I like my eyes looking bigger because I kind of have small eyes. So what you do is you can put that initial color down, and there are so many ways to do a halo eye, but this is just the way I do it. I will take a darker color than what we just put down. So I'm going to be taking Banter right here, and I'm going to use it on a fluffy brush, but that's kind of smaller. I'm just going to take that, and I'm just going to put it a little bit lower in this crease and just kind of diffuse it, but lower than the original color we had. Now what I do is I'll take that first brush we used, I don't add any more product, and I kind of just go over everything to make sure it's all blended. I'm going to take a denser brush that's kind of flat. So as you guys can see, it's kind of flat and dense. I'm going to take that same color Banter that we just used to darken up our crease. I'm going to take it on that flat brush, and then I'm going to stamp here and just stamp that color down. I'm going to put on the outer corner, and then I'm also going to put it on the inner corner. But I'm leaving that middle blank. Now I feel like I could go even darker. So I'm going to take another flat brush that I have. This one, it's just another flat brush, it's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to take the color right under Banter, which is Crack On. Oh, another amazing tip. When you go into your shadows, you're gonna pick up a lot. And you kind of always pick up a little bit too much. I love tapping off my brush just a little bit. You don't need to like slam it, just literally like 1, 2, 3. And it gets the excess product off and will help with less fallout, and also you won't have like a bunch of extra product on your eye that's going to make it hard to blend and everything. So that's just something to do with your brush. So I'm going to put this color lower and building up in the same places that we put Banter. So I'm kind of starting closer to my lash line, and then once most of the product's off, I move up to blend it up. I make the weirdest faces when doing my makeup. I'm going to go in with this color Silk Teddy. With a foiled shadow, I like applying them in 2 ways. One way is with my fingers. I'll show you that. So I just pick some up like this on my finger, and then I just take it and just stamp right on. I love this method. I feel like you get such good color payoff, like so much of the color comes off. However, with a finger you get less control than with the brush because you can't perfectly line things and everything because you're using your finger. On the other side, I'm going to show you one of my other favorite ways to apply a foil. I'm going to take a really, really flat brush. One thing about this brush is that it's synthetic, which means that the hairs, the bristles, are not real hair. They're made out of synthetic material. That is normally better to transfer shimmer, foil, more wet eyeshadows. It usually picks up the color a little bit better than a natural hairbrush would. What my favorite way is that I take a dry brush, okay? So this doesn't have anything on it. And I just go into my color. Tap off the excess as always. And you can see there's color there. Then I'll take a setting spray. My favorite for this is MAC Fix Plus. It's the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. And I spray my brush. I just do like 2 spritzes. And that wets the brush. It will make the shimmer show up so much better than when it's on a dry brush. Like, so I like a brush because you definitely get more control. You can kind of carve it out a little bit better. I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just go right under my eyes and just get all the fallout away. And I bet you didn't even realize that much makeup was under my eye. Okay, now you guys are more zoomed out so I can do my face makeup and show it to you. People start with a primer. And a primer, just like on your eyes, on your face, is supposed to help your makeup last longer. Every single primer has different claims. Some are supposed to make your makeup look more luminous, some more matte, some control oils. There are all these different, some are pore filling, there are all these different things primers can do. So pick a primer that fills your own skin concern and something you want to work on. I wouldn't listen to just like, oh, the most famous popular primer. Really figure out if that's going to help you with the skin concern that you want to help. A primer I'm going to be using today is this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So this primer is really all about moisture and hydration, which I need because my skin's dry. So before my makeup, I like going in with either a luminous or a hydrating primer because my skin looks so dry and sometimes makeup can emphasize that dryness. So I like to just prep my skin before and make sure I'm not going to have that happen. So I'm going to take some here and just put that on. Okay, so now I've applied that primer. And I recommend letting it set in a little bit. Most of the time I do my primer before my eye makeup, so the primer just has time to sink in. I also just realized I skipped a really important step because it's nighttime here, so I wasn't like thinking of it. Put on an SPF. SPF is sun protection. It will help you anti-aging, skin cancer, really good. So yeah, you put it on after your moisturizer and before primer. I like mineral sunscreens because I have really, really sensitive skin and chemical ones usually burn my face. So I like mineral ones, and the one I've been loving recently is the Clinique Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So now that you have your primer on and hopefully your SPF under that primer, you'd go in with foundation. There's so many different types, so many different finishes, so many different claims, so many different formulas, everything. I personally like a more natural finish, which means it's not completely matte and it's not completely dewy. I like a more natural finish with a light to a medium coverage. I like more natural day-to-day makeup. Today I'm going to be using this Flower Beauty Light Illusion Luminous Nude Skin Feel All Day Wear Broad Spectrum SPF 15 Foundation. I don't even know if that's like the full name. That I'm just reading the bottle and I was like, the name's still going. It's the Light Illusion Foundation, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it on the back of my hand. Just pump. Then I'll take my Beauty Blender that's wet. I'll go in on the back of my hand. And then I will just start stamping it around my face. So this one is more of a medium foundation. Keep in mind, so the makeup I'm doing right now is makeup that looks good in real life. Let me explain. A lot of what you see on YouTube is makeup that looks amazing on camera, but in real life, it doesn't look so hot. So sometimes I may use a more full coverage foundation while filming because it looks better filming. But in real life, I like the look of natural foundation. So keep that in mind when you're watching people on YouTube and learning from them, because a lot of the time what they're doing is going to look really good on camera. So you should just do like what they're doing but a little bit less of it in real life, because theirs looks really good on camera against lights and everything. That's just a tip. Make sure you get everywhere. So I just bounce this in with my Beauty Blender. I make sure I get up into my hairline. So I always like bringing it over here to your ear so the color blends in, and then you should always drag your foundation down your neck so that the color matches. So Beauty Blender is really good for applying your foundation because it leaves a pretty natural finish on your face, which I love, and it's pretty hydrating because it has like water in it, which I also love. Some people love brushes for foundation. Once again, you'll just have to figure that out and see what you like. So foundation evens out your skin tone, and concealer is supposed to cover certain parts of your face that you really want covered. I like putting my concealer over my dark circles right here. So I normally just do some right in there and then some out here where I'm a little darker. So I'll do that on this side. And I may end up going in and adding more. We just have to see what I feel like and like what coverage I'm getting. I also like taking it down the center of my nose because I get red there, so I like covering it a little bit more. I may just take a compact and do it there. Just a little bit, just so I have it closer. So now that we have that, this comes in with powder. This completely depends on your skin type. I am really dry, but I also get oily in my T-zone. And my under eyes crease. So you have to know your own skin type to know how much powder to use, where to use it. If you're really, really oily, you may just want to powder your whole face. If you're like me, who's more combo, I normally powder just certain parts of my face. And if you are super dry skin, I wouldn't powder. Unless you crease under your eyes, then add some there. It also depends on the finish of your foundation. If I'm using a foundation that's really, really dewy, this one's not very tacky. If your foundation's more tacky, I would probably do a light dusting of powder, even if you have dry skin, because it may help your foundation last longer. But if your foundation, like this one, isn't tacky, it's probably going to stay on without powder. I'm going to take this brush. It's fluffy. It's a face brush. And I'm going to put some under my eye. So I tap off the excess. I'm using a translucent powder from before. And I'm just going to put some right under my eye to make sure that I'm not going to crease there. Make sure you're tapping your creases out if you already got them before you powder, because if you already have a crease and then you powder it, you're going to set the crease. So now I'm just going to use a really, really light amount. Go in here because I get powdery around here. Did I say I get powdery? I get oily. I get oily in this area. Powder my nose. And I'll do just the center of my forehead. Because I do still like looking luminous, like my cheeks and everything. I just don't want to look oily. So I carefully place my powder. Now that I have all that powder done, I go back to the eyes. I like putting eyeshadow in under here. I just think it makes the look blend together, and yeah. So I'm going to go in, and I kind of work like light to dark, just like I did on the top. So I'm going to go in with that first color that we used, which was On Holiday. I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush. Fluffy, has a lot of blend, but it's small, so it will work under my eyes. I'm just going to take that, tap off excess, and then go right under my eye. Like this. I think looking up when you do this really helps, so you can like get the full eye. Because if you're like this, it closes your eye off and it's kind of hard, so I normally like looking up. Then I'm going to go in with the next color we used, which was Batter, and I'm going to take that on a smaller brush. I'm going to take it on this brush. Smaller, but still blends product. I'm going to use the IT Brow Power. So I use a spoolie on one end, and that's just to brush through your brows, get them in the shape they want, and just like the brows in the direction you want them to go. I start at the top here. I'm just going to start making little brush strokes And then I do the tail. And I put more pressure down when I want the color to be darker. And then I just do under. Just carve out that shape. And then I fill in just by, oh, oops. I fill in just by kind of creating brush strokes. Now I'm going back to the eyes, and I'm going to take the Bare Necessities palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Idle Hour. So I'm just going to take a small, tiny little brush, and I'm going to take Idle Hour, that shade, and I'm going to put it in my inner corner. I love this technique because it really opens the eye and brings attention to it. Some people like putting a matte skin tone color right under their brow to carve it out, but I also just like putting shimmer right at the top of the brow, just so it kind of catches light when you turn. So for eyeliner, I have, as I've mentioned, smaller eyes. So sometimes I don't like eyeliner on the top of my lid, like a lot of people put, because it can sometimes make my eyes look small. What I like doing, and it looks scary, and I promise it's not, I promise it's so easy and painless, it's fine, is tight lining. This is the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Eye Crayon, and it's in like the black color. I don't know exactly what it's called. So I just take that right under my lashes. And you can probably, hopefully, tell the difference between the two eyes. I like tight lining because it doesn't take up room on my actual lid. Also, it brings in a lot of attention to your lashes and it makes your lashes look fuller. It also helps blend in like false lashes and mascara better. I'm not going to be applying false lashes today. I have a whole false lash video from like a few years ago that I haven't really updated my routine since then, so you can go watch that video on how to apply false lashes. But I am going to be putting on mascara. So what I like to do is I like to curl my lashes. It's not scary. I feel like people are always scared of this. When I do other people's makeup and I start to go like this to them, they're like, ah. It's fine. Don't go all the way in. Like, don't pinch your skin, okay? Just start at the base of the lash and then squeeze. Some people like holding it down, some people like squeezing it. I kind of do a combo. And then when you take the curler away, look how much curled they already are. I'm going to use one of my favorite mascaras. This is from the drugstore. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. So I just start at the base, I go up, kind of blink into the wand. I think mascara is one of the makeup products that makes such a difference. I get asked like, oh, if you were on an island and can only bring like 3 makeup products, mascara would 100% be one of them. Now that's on, we gotta take on bottom mascara. I always use a different mascara for it. I use one with a tinier wand. It's just way easier to me than using like a fat fluffy wand like I did on my top lashes on my bottom ones. But it's up to you, it just depends on what you want to do. So this is the MAC Extended Play Gigaback Lash Mascara. I'm just going to look down. So now we're going to go on to the rest of the face. So I like to start with contour. I do contour, bronzer, blush, highlighter. So I kind of build. Contour is something that is used to carve out the bone structure on your face and create shadows and depth. So I like using it for my cheekbones. So I'm a really big cream person. I really like cream cheek products. Some people like powder. I like both. I just recently have been using a lot of cream. So I'm going to be using this contour stick. It's by Westman Atelier. It's the Phase Trace Contour Stick in Biscuit. So I'm going to take it and I'm just going to make it kind of a kissy face like. And I just go right in that line, following that direction. And I don't bring it all the way in, I just go right at my cheekbone. Contouring will be different for every face shape because you guys will want to do different things with your face. Some people contour to make their face look smaller, some people longer, some people wider, some people more narrow, not in. And I use it just to really like carve out my cheekbones. I really like that look. So It can be used in a bunch of different ways. There's definitely not just like one way to contour, but this is one really basic way that I think will work for a lot of face shapes. And then I also do a little bit here just to make my forehead look a little bit smaller. And then I do a little bit under my chin and just blend this all out. See, it just creates a little bit of shadow. So it looks like my cheekbone's kind of carved out more than it really is. Bronzer is more warm toned. Bronzer is supposed to bring warmth to your skin, and it's kind of supposed to make it look like a natural tan. I'm really pale, so I feel like bronzer brings really good color to my skin and kind of helps it not look so like one note, you know? I'm going to be using a powder bronzer today just because I feel like I used a cream contour, so might as well go in with a powder bronzer, you know? Mix it up. I absolutely love the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Into Sun bronzer. Fenty came out with a huge shade range for bronzers, and that's partly why I love this collection so much, is because you will find the color that matches you. And for me, it's Into Sun. It is such a good bronzer. It's neutral. It's not too warm, not too cool. It's just neutral and just gives me a tan. It's also a great formula. So I normally take it on a really, really, really big fluffy brush because unlike contour, I don't want it to be super defined. I kind of just want a wash of it like a tan. And I kind of go above my contour. So I put it in my cheeks there just to make them look a little bit more bronzed. And then I put it on my forehead and just kind of like whip it all over my face. I'm going to be using the MAC So Natural Glow Play Blush. The color is so natural. And it looks like this. It's so pretty. It's kind of peachy. And this kind of has like a gel consistency. Like, it's not cream, but it's not powder. It's kind of just like a mixture. Just kind of dab it in there. And then I just kind of stamp this blush on right above the bronzer. So you're kind of just layering. So just giving like a good wash of color. And blush is just really going to bring a lot of color and life to your skin. It's supposed to make you look a little bit flushed and just pretty. So highlight is something you put in places where your face catches the light, and it's supposed to catch the light even more. So as you can see, I don't have highlight on right now, but my foundation was pretty dewy. So when I turn, you can see like right here catches the light. Like all these places on my face catch light. And that's where you want to put your highlight. So that will be different to every person, but for a lot of people, it's like right in this area. I love cream highlighter. That's like out of all the creams, like out of bronzer, blush, highlight, the best cream to me is highlighter. Highlighter that's really affordable that I think is really good and isn't really talked about that much on YouTube from what I see is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighter. Mine is in the shade Lunch Money. So I just take it on my finger like this, and I'm just gonna put it with my finger right in the areas where I catch the light. And it just helps catch it a little bit more. I'm going to use a lip gloss today. I just love gloss. I have really dry lips, dry skin, yeah. So I like something that feels really hydrating. So I'm going to use a lip liner, if I can find it. I don't know why I was like Australian for a quick sec. Okay. I'm going to use this Huda Beauty lip contour in Muse and just line my lips a little bit. I do this when I'm wearing lip gloss or a color that I feel like is kind of blending into my skin a little bit too much, just because it kind of defines your lips a little bit. Some people use lip liner to overline their lips and make them look a little bigger, but I personally just use it to like outline the shape, just so like the shape of my lips doesn't get lost. So I'm gonna do my Cupid's bow. It's hard to talk while I'm doing this. And I do under here, and I do the sides. This is the Marc Jacobs lip gloss in Moon Glow. Okay, and then the last step, I promise it's the last one actually, is setting spray. Setting spray is meant to set your makeup to make it last longer, and some setting sprays also have different claims. Some claim they will keep oils in, some claim that they will make you look dewy. Yeah, I just like to use MAC Fix Plus. I think it just makes your powder kind of blend into the skin and not look as powdery, even though I didn't really use much powder today. So I'm just going to take it, and then I hold my hair back so it doesn't get wet. And then I just kind of like hold it away from my face like this. Don't open your eyes if you don't feel like your eyes are dry yet, because it will cause creasing. So just make sure you're like this until you feel like your eyes are completely dry, and then you can open them. Okay, and now the makeup is done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Makeup is something that's really complicated, and you're not just gonna know everything from one video. I've been doing makeup for years, and I still obviously do not know anything because it's an art and it's never ending. But I just wanted to let you guys know the basics of a lot of the makeup that's used today and how to use them. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!